What if I told you that one of the greatest mysteries in human history lies hidden in a forgotten gap, shrouded in silence? A mystery that, for centuries, has left scholars and seekers alike baffled, speculating, and searching for answers. Imagine the world's most profound spiritual teacher, a man whose wisdom changed the course of human civilization, yet for nearly 18 years of his life, there is nothing. No records. No details. A void. This gap in history belongs to Jesus Christ, the man whose teachings on love, compassion, and divine truth resonate across cultures, yet whose youth remains an enigma. Between his childhood and the beginning of his ministry at the age of 30, there is no mention of his life in the scriptures. For 18 long years, he vanishes. But what if this silence isn't an accident? What if it holds the key to understanding the true nature of this extraordinary figure? Today, we are going to explore one of the most intriguing questions in religious and spiritual history: what happened during these lost years of Jesus' life? What truths about his identity and teachings could be hidden within these missing pages of history? And why have so many theories and legends emerged to fill this void? Get ready to embark on a journey that transcends time, religion, and culture. We will uncover the secrets behind Jesus' lost years and explore the possibility that the answers may lie in ancient wisdom from far-off lands. The story of Jesus Christ, as presented in the Gospels, is rich with profound teachings and moral lessons. Yet, it is also a narrative laden with gaps. The scriptures are crystal clear about Jesus' childhood up to the age of 12, when he is found in the temple in Jerusalem, debating with the religious teachers of his time. However, after this brief episode, his life from ages 12 to 30 is nearly a blank canvas. The Bible offers no insight into what occurred during this period. For centuries, scholars and mystics have grappled with the mystery of these lost years. Some argue that these years were intentionally omitted, perhaps to preserve the sacred narrative of Jesus' divinity. Others suggest that the information was simply lost to history. Regardless of the reason, this gap has sparked a multitude of theories and speculations about where Jesus may have gone and what he may have experienced during these years. In the ancient world, it was common for spiritual masters to undergo periods of training and self-discovery before sharing their wisdom with the world. Yet, we are left to wonder: did Jesus spend these years in solitude, or did he travel? Was his mission shaped by the wisdom of distant cultures, and did he learn from ancient traditions that predated his time? It is within these questions that we find the intersection of history, spirituality, and mystery. There are multiple legends and theories that claim to fill this void. Some suggest Jesus traveled east to India, Tibet, or Nepal to study spiritual practices and philosophies. Others point to Egypt, with its rich tradition of mysticism and esoteric teachings, as the place where Jesus could have gained deeper spiritual knowledge. One of the most compelling arguments comes from the study of Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism and Hinduism. Scholars have noticed striking parallels between Jesus' teachings and the spiritual traditions of the East, especially in his messages about detachment, the kingdom of God within each person, and his emphasis on inner transformation. In India and Tibet, meditation, spiritual enlightenment, and the search for a deeper connection with the divine have been central to many religious practices. The idea that Jesus could have ventured to these regions is not far-fetched, especially when we consider that in ancient times, the East was a center of profound spiritual wisdom. Another fascinating theory points to Egypt, which was known as the cradle of spiritual knowledge. During Jesus' time, Egypt was home to ancient mysticism, the Hermetic tradition, and teachings about the afterlife and the soul. The possibility that Jesus sought spiritual wisdom in Egypt has long intrigued scholars. Some believe that Egypt's profound understanding of universal laws, divine transformation, and the union of the human soul with the divine may have played a significant role in shaping Jesus' own spiritual mission. Whether in the East or Egypt, the potential for these experiences to have shaped Jesus' spiritual consciousness is undeniable. But the question remains: what was the real truth behind his lost years? And what can we learn from this gap in history? Let us dive deeper into the possible journeys of Jesus. The first theory we'll explore is the idea that Jesus traveled to the east, specifically to India, Tibet, or Nepal. Many scholars believe that the teachings of these regions share striking similarities with the messages of Jesus, especially in their focus on inner spiritual transformation. Eastern mysticism, particularly in the traditions of Buddhism and Hinduism, emphasizes practices like meditation, self-discipline, and the pursuit of enlightenment. These concepts echo many of Jesus' teachings about the kingdom of God within, the need to detach from worldly possessions, and the importance of compassion and love. The historian Nicholas Roerich, who dedicated much of his life to exploring Eastern spirituality, suggested that it would not have been impossible for Jesus to have traveled east. He argued that the East was a well-established center of spiritual wisdom at the time, and it would make sense for Jesus to have sought spiritual guidance from Buddhist and Hindu masters. One of the most well-known texts fueling this theory is The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ by Nicholas Notovich, who claimed to have discovered an ancient manuscript in Tibet. This manuscript, known as the Life of Issa, described the journey of a young man named Issa, believed by some to be Jesus, who traveled east to study with Buddhist and Hindu masters. While the authenticity of this manuscript is widely debated, it has nonetheless sparked significant interest in the possibility that Jesus was influenced by Eastern teachings. While the theory of Jesus traveling to the East is intriguing, it is not the only possibility. Another widely discussed theory is that Jesus spent time in Egypt, where he could have encountered the ancient esoteric traditions that flourished in that region. Egypt, with its deep understanding of mysticism, spiritual transformation, and the soul, could have been the perfect environment for a young Jesus to refine his spiritual consciousness. The Hermetic tradition in Egypt focused on the pursuit of universal truths and the connection between the divine and the human. Many scholars argue that Jesus' teachings about the kingdom of God and the unity of God and humanity echo the core principles of Hermeticism. Some even suggest that Jesus may have been initiated into these ancient mysteries, learning profound wisdom that would later manifest in his own teachings. One of the strongest pieces of evidence supporting this theory is the biblical narrative itself. After Jesus' birth, his family fled to Egypt to escape King Herod's persecution. While this is often seen as a temporary refuge, some believe it was more than that. Egypt may have been a place of spiritual formation for Jesus, where he encountered teachings that would later influence his ministry. What does this mean for us today? The search for Jesus' lost years challenges us to explore deeper aspects of our own spiritual journeys. It invites us to look beyond the conventional narratives and consider that spiritual wisdom can come from many sources, not just one tradition. Whether through meditation, self-reflection, or seeking knowledge from other cultures, we can all find pathways to inner transformation and enlightenment. The true teachings of Jesus may not be confined to a single religious doctrine. Instead, they may serve as a universal guide to living a life of love, compassion, and spiritual growth. By embracing the mysteries of his life and teachings, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with the divine and a greater understanding of our own purpose. As we reflect on the mysteries of Jesus' lost years, we are reminded that the search for truth is not always a clear path. The answers may never be fully revealed, but the journey itself can lead us to a deeper spiritual understanding. The wisdom of Jesus, transcending time, religion, and culture, is a beacon that continues to guide seekers on their own journeys of self-discovery. Is the kingdom of God truly within us, as Jesus taught? Perhaps the missing years hold the key to this profound truth. What do you think? Could Jesus have traveled the world, seeking wisdom from different spiritual traditions, only to return and share his insights with the world? Or was his journey one of solitude and inner reflection? The answers may remain hidden, but the search for them invites us to explore, question, and ultimately transform. The lost years of Jesus, unveiling the mystery of his hidden life. What happened to Jesus between ages 12 and 30? The truth revealed. Jesus' forgotten years. Did he travel to the East for wisdom? The spiritual journey of Jesus, exploring his lost years. The gap in Jesus' life, what the Bible doesn't tell you.